My current job, I'm head of section Economic Affairs, Development and Environment in the EU Delegation in Geneva. What does it entail? Basically, it is checking with the member states to what extent there is a common position on certain issues that are being discussed in Geneva, and once we have a common position, the attempt to make sure to get that common position translated into actions and decisions of the international organization in Geneva. So essentially, in practical terms, it means that we draft the common positions, we chair the coordination meetings, and once we have a common position, we bring it to the international organizations and to the third countries. What I like most about it is that you are in between, on the one hand, the internal coordination process, so you have to negotiate with the member states to get to a common position, and then you go outside where you meet basically the rest of the world to convince them that what has come out of community coordination is the best way forward, and that creates a dynamic that's very interesting. Well, in the beginning that was quite challenging because of course it was a new organization. So in 2010, 2011 there was a lot of discussions within the organization on what we should do, how we should merge the different cultures of the people coming from the Commission, the Council Secretariat and the Member States. And we also had a lot of discussions with Member States on competence questions. I must say that after 2 or 3 years we have settled in quite well actually, and it's astonishing the amount of the things we can do as Action Service, and also the impact that we have collectively now in the international organization in Geneva, an impact which I would say is much larger than we used to have. I studied law and economics partly in Nijmegen in the Netherlands and in Brussels in Belgium. Well, I started knowing exactly what I did not want to become, and that was a lawyer in a big law firm. That's what all my friends wanted. So once I knew that that was not what I wanted, I started thinking what I wanted, and it was something international and something academic. One difference I would say is that in Brussels you of course work with member states and the different European institutions, and there what is quite amazing that if there is a proposal for legislation, for a common position, often on 80% of that proposal there is an agreement reached relatively easily between the member states, because we tend to have the same cultural background, the same economic interest, so a consensus on a large part of a proposal can easily be reached, and then once you have identified the political issues, you can go to a higher level to get a decision. So it's a process that's well organized, and the substance is not too difficult except for the 20% political issues. Now in Geneva it's quite different because of course you work on a global level, and there you do see the different influences and the different interests of the different countries involved. And therefore I guess that's the reason that the multilateral process is much slower in getting to results. I would definitely suggest that student not to follow my career steps, but basically to first decide what he likes or she likes, and if you find a job in an area which you like, or in which you believe, for which you're passionate, you're definitely going to do well in your career. And I would also say, once you are on that path, which is your path and not the path of anybody else, then you should not hesitate to grab opportunities that will present themselves. You have to, at a certain moment, also be a little bit courageous to jump on a different train if it passes by and if it brings you in the direction in which you want to go.